Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay, cool. So, I've got my clicker. All right. Like magic. Thank you, tech people. Okay, so I want to say hello to everybody and a special big hello to everyone who is tuning in from home. I hope you're really enjoying all the presentations today as much as I am. So today we are here to learn about the lost history of creative thinking methodologies. Woo, fun times. All right, so let's start with something that isn't lost. We all know this, it's the double diamond, right? So we've got our 4 classic phases, and we've got our diverge, converge, cheeky little how might we statement in the middle there, yep, all known stuff. And we know design thinking. So this is completely different though, right? Because it's 5 stages, no diverge, converge, bunch of hexagons. Why are they hexagons? This drives me absolutely nuts. Anyhow, so these are pretty simple models, which is really great for me because I'm actually a trainer, and trainers really love nice, simple models. My name is Zoe Rose. I actually run my own training company. I was a teacher before I was a designer, and these days I teach people mostly, but not exclusively in the public service, about usability and accessibility, which is usability for disabled people. I'm also disabled myself. Now, as many of you will know, the core skill set of a trainer is not being a subject matter expert. It's the ability to break down big fields of knowledge into something that people can actually understand and retain. Now, critically, a good trainer knows that you really don't want to overstuff a presentation, right? If you've only got 25 minutes, as I have, the best advice is to keep it simple. 2 or 3 big ideas, tops, nothing too complex. We are not going to do that today. This is going to be really dense. About 10 minutes from now, some people are going to be thinking, oh my God, she has over-researched this, and you will be right, because part of the reason for doing this presentation is I'm trying to fend off a PhD in this topic. So yes, a lot of research has happened. You've been warned. Okay, right. So, there's an old joke in a book that many of you will have read called Infinite Jest. And there's these 2 young fish hanging out in the pond, and an old fish swims by, and he says, "Morning, boys, how's the water?" And when he's gone, one of the young fish turns to the other young fish and goes, "What the hell is water?" Okay? It's a joke about culture. The thing that unites those models that we just looked at, double diamond, design thinking, how might we questions, is that they are all presented and we present them as existing outside of context, outside of culture, and outside of history. So, okay, let's have a look at this water. The very idea that a process can be decontextualized is contextual. The idea that a process exists outside history is shaped by history. Assuming that a method can be acultural is itself a cultural assumption. And we're going to start there. We're going to start in history. We're going to start in shallow waters, right? We're just going to dip our toe. Back to this guy. So the British Design Council released the double diamond in 2005. There's a historical note on the website. It's a bit thin. It says, of course, kite-shaped design process models have been referenced as far back as the 1960s. Have they? The director of design from when the double diamond was invented, he said something interesting. He said, an engineer at IDEO talked to me about the product development process as being like the classic diamond-shaped kite with a tail composed of progressively smaller diamonds. That's interesting because it tells us that IDEO had an influence over the development of the double diamonds. IDEO, of course, are the design consultancy that came up with this in about 2001. The hexagons are their fault. This is the standard design thinking model. Now, if you look at their account of their history, it's very vibe-oriented. Like, there's like, oh, something, Victor Packanack, and then it doesn't say anything else. So there's not much there. All right. that's the immediate history. Going to shift gears now. We're going to go to culture. I want to introduce you to one way of looking at the spectrum of culture, which is the low context culture to high context culture spectrum. Now, anthropologists and sociologists in the audience will be screaming inside their hearts right now at the oversimplification of this model, but we're going to do it anyhow, and I'll tell you why in a second. Right, so high context cultures tend to have these attributes. They tend to be more group-oriented, place value on relationships, use more indirect communication styles, and favour collaboration. On the other hand, our low-context cultures tend to have these attributes. They tend to be more individualistic, value independence, direct communication style, so get to the point, and a bit of competition. Okay. Just want to point out, this is a very low context way of presenting culture. We'll just acknowledge that. So we've got our models from the US and the UK. These are pretty low